Hello everybody and welcome to Swimmer Saint 212, the second half continuing on in the Great White Brackets, also the first one of 2026. My name is Kyon, joining me is Fusion. Fusion, I would normally like to ask how are you, but in this case, both teams are pretty much geared up and ready to go, so I hope you're ready to go.
I'm ready to go. The question is, how is Ascension gonna contend with Count My Bands with only 2 players?
So the important question here, Fusion. I think you and I both know the Splatoon math here. You cannot come in with a field of 4. That's a problem. You cannot come in with 2. There is the other 2 players. Something seems off in the Matrix. I know we are literally just about to kick off the next round, so I guess we got to get ourselves back on the board and probably get ourselves all situated here. As we take a look here, yes, it is going to be Ascension on the Brawler side. Alpha side is going to Count My Bands. Fusion, what sticks out to you right away?
I mean, something that always is interesting to me is the Zinc Mini Splatling. Splatlings have definitely been a lot more popular in the meta as of recently, but also the Tetra Dualies. I know some Tetras who have a lot of fun on this map in particular. The corners are super nice to just roll over the edge, and you can move out of line of sight for a lot of weapons, but Count My Bands is going to come out swinging off to a strong early start, finding a pick, but unfortunately not quite able to find it. But Tetra going down, nothing new. It's par for the course.
Yeah, it's just an average day in Tetra land. I think that's the best way to phrase it there. It's going to be a really good early start, right, by the way, for Count My Bands. Ascension able to get the cap back onto the zone. It's going to be 90 points remaining and still counting down. 2 members have gone down from Count My Bands. It's going to be Cyrillit trying to push a little further here for Ascension. But it looks like they are going to be able to only paint as much as they could. Ascension trying to go for the lockout so far. 4 members are kind of jammed on the other side. Bank drops down there. It's going to lead to Rippy making the jump right in. But they are building themselves enough space. Not until the reslider from Illusion comes in. Fusion, it's already 51 points remaining, and Ascension does have the lead so far.
Yeah, they do have the lead. Ascension, though, does end up losing quite a bit of ground. It's a weird map to defend on for sure. Never really clear whether you're supposed to sit up top or drop to the bottom, and Ascension ended up kind of giving up some space there, dropped to the low ground, and it is going to bite them there, as that's a near full wipe and stagger coming out from Ascension. Count My Bands now in a prime position. They have that lead. They have some specials charging, but it's something I want to keep an eye out for is that splashdown, which can be very, very useful on defense. A custom blaster, I honestly haven't seen all that much. I saw it once earlier on stream, but very good defensive special.
Yeah, you always count on that triple splashdown to get not just zones back, but as you noted there, to a great defensive special that they can do there. Cyrillit, unfortunately, not enough range. Very tragically, not able to get that sprinkler. The sprinkler is Zera is losing 0-2 to the sprinkler so far. It's just got to abandon on that mission. It's gonna have to probably wait for the other backlines to get rid of the sprinkler that's right up top, which I think they finally did. With all the distraction in play, a very silly moment here in SOS. It is going to lead to the triple smash on only getting the neutral from Count My Band. But Ascension able to get the lead, able to get 3 members down. It's going to be a full-on lockout, pretty much the push needed here for Ascension to get this down to 0 points remaining, and the KO here is going to be Count My Band's last chance here in this map to see if they can get the cap, which they should be able to, with a flying reach slider into the zone. And Fusion, other than Cyrillit's inability to get the sprinkler, Ascension is able to get it down to 5 points remaining, and we're going back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, they had a wonderful position for that lockout there. The bubble, 3 members ended up setting up inside it. Unfortunately, though, it seemed like they were not able to find that pick on the Tetra with the reef slider in time. I mean, I feel like they need to plan with that as a defense condition. If you want to knock out, you cannot let the Tetra into the zone. And Count My Band's already making them pay for that. That is going to be a wipeout, and now penalty is getting a little bit low on their side. They have some specials at that ready, including the reef slider, which could do some damage if too many members of Ascension end up dropping onto their plat, but it seems like it may end up being used defensively here as we head towards the final minute of the game. It seems like Count My Bands is still maintaining that control, Kyon.
Something that I noticed right away too is that Reef Slider from the Tetris being used just to even get a trade there, but to at least prolong this push a little bit more here from Count My BandZ. It's actually worked out really nice here because it is going to be bonk. Not enough ink left in the tank here. That Reef Slider being interesting is able to at least push Count My BandZ a little further backwards. And Fusion, for as fast as these teams wanted to run, Count My BandZ was the one that takes its home forward. It's going to be the 1-0 start for them in the best of 3.
Yeah, very strong showing for them. From them, it seemed like overall that Tetra did end up coming in clutch several times. The main reason they ended up recapping that zone towards the end, ending up crutching on it, ends up working out for them. Ascension kind of had they had a plan, and it felt like they kind of ended up scrambling during that last defense and were not quite able to block in time. But I mean, both of these teams seem fairly evenly matched in that first game. It seems, if I'm going to be like honest, it felt like that game was a little bit unusual for Zone's Robo Ramen. I feel like there's usually a lot of stalling on Zone Robo. There was almost no fighting occurring in the zone of this map. It was all around the sides, which is very interesting, considering like. I think it's just quite interesting, considering how these teams approached a map like that with such a big flat area in the middle of it.
What's kind of intriguing, to add to your point too, kind of feels like they're trying to aim for a lot of fights close to the enemy's base a lot of the time whenever they get in the zone. I appreciate a good play where you can get a solid walkout position from the get-go, and you're gonna be able to get away with a big advantage. A lot of times when those fights end up going there, you get Illusion flying over the Reef Slider and just get the zones capped in their direction. It's going to require a lot more special coordination from Ascension to make that, to pretty much neutralize it, which they weren't able to. And I feel like this has been a very evenly matched game so far here, Fusion. Now that we've gotten through Zone's Robo Ramen, it gives us some time to breathe here, coming into Inkblood Art Academy Tower Control here for this second map. I think personally, Fusion, even in SOS, I still want I would love to see another back and forth map coming up.
Yeah, and I have a suspicion we're going to be seeing some of that. Timer keeps ticking if nobody makes a move in zones, but you need to actively keep up that pressure here on tower control. We're going to be seeing, wow, okay, interesting. 2 Luna Blasters. Maybe not what I was expecting. But that's very interesting coming out. I can see how Luna could be very useful around these corners, but unfortunately, it's surprising to me because there's a weapon that is a part-time Luna Blaster, part-time like Rapid Blaster in the game. So it's very cool to see. We'll have to see whether these players are going to be able to make the most of their kits so far. But so far, it seems like Bonk was kind of just eating the entirety of Count My BandZ and creates a huge opening for Ascension.
You know, Ascension is able to win out the duel of all the flavors of Luna Blaster Fusion. If you for some reason printed out a bingo card in SOS, of all flavors of Luna Blaster, it was the vanilla one with that zip caster, which I feel like that Luna Blaster never gets airtime. Apparently they're able to make the most of it. I know it's just the main weapon that is the main focus. They're actually using the zip caster right now, and even more so, the 3-0 down situation already. Ascension's already past the second checkpoint, less than a minute into the game. Residence is using that pencil to paint as much as they can. Bubble's pretty much going to be used on the tower there. Again, they get the pick onto JoJo, and Bonk's just flying across the map. Is this just going to be a straight one-push victory here? It does not look like it will be the case. Count My BandZ has put the end to that push. 3 minutes and 37 seconds left, Fusion, and 3 checkpoints have been cleared from Ascension.
Yeah, that's certainly massive. We usually see quite a holdup at that second checkpoint, but Benzel was so free to just continue riding the tower thanks to all the pressure that Ascension had up in the enemy bats. I mean, Residence was just able to sit there, get their specials, and even that bubble from Rippin came out on tower while Bank was able to clean up shop along with the Luna Blaster. So you couldn't have put it together any better for Ascension, but Count My BandZ certainly not out of it at this point. We know how snowbally this map can be, and it seems like we're going to be seeing that snowball get started yet again. Count My BandZ this time is in the driver's seat, and will they be able to put up pressure to contend with Ascension, Kyon?
I think that's going to be the question. I saw the vision with the Reef Slider there right away from the illusion, and then, but they're not able to get anybody, I think, cut just a bit short from where the ramp beats the top. And that's kind of how we see that push get solved, because it was basically illusion that was left like a sitting duck on that push. So Count My BandZ was only cut short there, but he did clear the first checkpoint, if anything, for Count My BandZ. Now you're gonna have to see a little bit of Blaster on Blaster crime there, as Love was able to get the pick onto Cerulet at the very least. But now where is the additional push? Coming from it is a Zuka versus the Ultra Stamp, and the Ultra Stamp wins. Fusion, you do not take a Zuka into a hammer match apparently, as the Count My BandZ is able to ride this one past the second checkpoint. Might be so here soon, yes. And around 2 minutes and 4 seconds in, both two checkpoints have been cleared from both sides, and now we can see Illusion and now Count My BandZ trying to see if they can turn this one on its head here. Two members have gone down. This is going to be a prime opportunity here for Count My BandZ to make the most of it. The third checkpoint in, the delayed wipeout effectively is the play, and it's the third checkpoint. This should be the KO, unless there's a huge stop of ripping and Cerulet, and there is the stop there. Illusion just flies in with the Rita Slider. That's not going to be the case. Fusion, I know I said I was hoping for a back-and-forth matchup. This might be one of the most back-and-forth matchups we're having. It's a 6-4 difference, and Ascension somehow holds the lead.
Where did they even come from? Was that like a post-mortem jump? Because I don't know how they managed to jump there, because they got wiped out. I guess they got wiped out after. No. I don't know how they got the jump off there, but it certainly came just in the nick of time. My goodness, just dropping some deadly close quarters weapons right onto the towers, able to save the game for Ascension. And now with a minute left, they are still in the driver's seat, albeit it's a little bit shakier of a position than they had at the start. That said, they do have plenty of tools they can use to defend come overtime. We'll have to see whether they're going to opt for that, as Count My BandZ seems to be piling on, just continuing the offensive onto their plat there. And yeah, here they are gearing up for yet another push. Is Ascension going to just throw everything at the tower at once come that second checkpoint, or will they be just trickling in? That may be what decides this game, Kyon, heading into the final 25 seconds.
Final 25 seconds. Two members already down. It's just going to be Bonk and the Pencil pretty much alive here. Ultra Stamp being tossed into the left-hand side of the map. And it is going to be the two members that drop. It's JoJo and the rest of the crew there. Ripping is still alive. It's South Cerulet there. The rings are one over for you. And that's the wipeout. That's basically the KO coming into the lead on top. And then the wipeout is pretty much securing. Count My BandZ taking the 2-0 finish there in this one. I know of all the things to see here in a back-and-forth matchup, this was definitely one where Count My BandZ, despite the very shaky start to the game, they pretty much met up to the task. That was kind of beautiful. Also, a lot of clutch plays from Ascension, but Count My BandZ came out of the better end of it, Fusion.
Yeah, oh, my goodness, that was such an intense back-and-forth game, but my goodness, yeah. Count My BandZ did a great job keeping their composure going towards the end of the game. We saw the defense coming out the bats. The Carbon was nearly able to make it to the tower. Actually, they did make it to the tower, as did that Luna Blaster, but Count My BandZ had the specials in the tank. You know that the enemy team is going to have to dive that tower. Count My BandZ just waited for it and acted when the moment was right. So they're going to be coming out victorious in this best of three, moving on to semi-finals, where they'll be facing Usagi Fan Club. We